Alright, what up guys, it's Rainbow Adventures back again. So today is a bit of a special video. Finally got myself on a Speed Triple 1200 RS. I've also test rode the RR, but I'll cut into that footage later. Today is a bit more on this bike. So the inline three, you've got quite a few versions of it. You've got your Speed Triple, Street Triple 765, Speed Triple RR, which is your racing sort of version of it, and you got your Rocket, which is a massive inline three. So this was built to compete with all your other super nakeds like your Ducati Street Fighter, your BMW S1000R, your MT10, etc, etc. So what's good about this is the bloody price point. The last I checked was 44k. I'll double check again later when I'm at the dealership, and I'll just update it into the shot. It's got your standard configuration, your LED lights. All this is same on all their Speed Triple. So your RR, your Rocket is all similar. So your mode, so your light, daytime runner, high beam, cruise control on this bike. So joystick to control everything else. Your start stop, hazard light, it's your handlebar lock. So when you turn it and you press your handlebar, even if your bike is on but ignition is off, so that means the stuff is still on, if you hit your handlebar lock, it will turn off the bike. I found that out on my Rocket. And this is your home button where the rest of your stuff is. Right, so I tried out the Speed Triple, this names is getting to me, the Street Triple 765. It feels exactly like this. It's smaller, it's lighter, runs the same, but it's nowhere near the sound of this bike. This one is amazing. The only difference between the RS and the RR, it's less than 9, it's not even 10, but it's less than 9 in terms of weight, horsepower and all that kind of numbers. So more or less it's the same. It's more of the styling. The RR is a bit more cramped up. This is a very comfortable ride, and there's a quick shift option. So if you see any of Triumph's bike with this thing, with that wire running up, that's a quick shifter. I have it on my Rocket. It's pretty good. Open your throttle and shift up, close your throttle and shift down, or you can still clutch in and do your usual. You've got Öhlins front and back. Pretty good Brembo brakes. The suspension of this is better than a Rocket. Surprised they didn't put that in the Rocket anyways. Yeah, and if you do buy a Triumph bike and it's new and you see those blue dots, I'm not sure if you can see, that means it's been quality checked. Someone's checked those areas and they put that chalk mark. You can just wash them off. I had a lot of them on my bike. So how does it sound? I'm a bit jealous of how it sounds. I really love the stock sound. Even with a stock exhaust, it's amazing. A bit on the higher note, unlike the Rocket. Both the RR and RS sound similar, but personally I find I like the sound of the RS a bit more. Yeah, I'm just gonna let you hear it. And it's decently loud. It's a nice look. Not a huge fan of the headlight, but it grows on you the more you ride. But I like the rest of the looks. Amazing grunt. That little bit of backfire that you get, it's common in all your inline trees. So your 765, this current 1200cc, your Rocket, they all have that simple, very soft backfire. Not sure if you can hear it. There it is. It's a trademark inline 3 sound. Oh, I love the sound of this. It's louder and higher pitched than the Rocket. The Rocket is more grunting. The 765 sounds very similar, but a little more softer, a little less aggressive. But it is way more lighter. I mean, it's kind of obvious. it is enough for a city ride. Doesn't ride too hot. So if you're looking to get an inline 3, the 765 is a very good a bike. If you don't want to get the Trident, of course. Price wise, I think it's 35, it's around there. I'm riding in sport mode on the 1200 RS. Sounds great. Let me open up my visor. See how well it sounds. Dropping the first gear. Yeah. You got what? 13,000 RPM on it. It's quite sick though. Even on high RPM, you don't feel like your hands are going to fly off like your bigger bikes. You can ride on a high RPM, although it's loud and obnoxious. You can ride. It's comfortable enough. The brakes are very solid for the size of this bike. Brake lever feels nice, feels very thick for the bike. It really digs in deep when you brake in. I mean, obviously it's Brembo. So now let's, okay, getting neutral on this is a bit of annoyance. Alright, let's see how it sounds. It's amazing. The signal light is your normal standard Triumph signal lights. It's not that bright. They could do better, so I'm changed my own bike to a brighter one. Oh, it's amazing the way it rides. Smooth and amazing. So your specs are tucked in back like how every naked or super naked bike is. Your arms are below the shoulder. So the question is, usually in this kind of setting, your arms will get tired because it's weighted down and your weight is in front. But the one thing I realized on the speed triple model, regardless of the size, either the 765 or the 1200, I'm talking about this RS, not the double R model. Let me put this to neutral. Okay, you can see this spot where you usually lean forward on the tank. The other bikes that I've ridden, your groin or where your belt is usually up against the tank. So when you brake hard, you're going to slide and knock your groin onto the tank, and it's honestly quite painful and it's annoying. But for the RS, it's much higher and it's a bit more smoother. So it ends up until your stomach. So it's a bit more comfortable the way it is. You could actually lean on the tank. When you brake, it's not going to be like a slam because you're already leaning on it. If you get what I mean, the rest of the bikes, you have a gap, you're going to slam into it. For this, it's designed nicely in a way that you're already leaning on it. Your feet tucked in is not too crazy. It's alright. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to go take a few bends. Once I'm out of it, I'll let you know how it feels. Your dash is more or less the same. It's got everything TFT. It's quite cool the way it moves. Oh shit. Like when you move, the animation is cool. When your gauges move to the side. So when you're riding normally, it's just like that. It's not too cluttered. But when you shift in to see the details, it moves in pretty nicely. It's kind of fun, but it does take a while to move. That it includes the same for your riding mode. If you press the riding mode, it comes out. You know, you sport, rider, race, whichever. This is rider, rain, road, sport. Alright, I'm taking sport. Let's see. There you got all your status. Bike. What's this? Brightness, steam, Bluetooth. Oh, it's got Bluetooth. That's nice. Yep, so with this TFT display, it makes sense to be able to connect your your phone or your Bluetooth. The Triumph connectivity module is pretty decent. It's good for this type of screens where it's big, unlike your other round ones. The Tiger screen is the best because it's quite big. This is not too bad. Alright, it's cable clutch, I thought it would be hydraulic. I guess you don't need it. Alright, so let's go. Oh, it's pretty light to go into the corners. The gearing is quite cool. When you shift it up or down, it does shift nicely. You know what, I'm going to go to the end and take this road back down again, because I really want to know how it feels right in the corners. It does run a little hot. It's an inline 3. I do realize the inline 3 runs pretty hot, even on the double R. Anyways, while I am waiting to get some nice road to ride, I'm going to cut in to the double R, which I rode here in the very same kind of weather. So take a look at that video and you have a feel of the difference. Shoulders. But is it more comfortable than a lot of the sports bike? Yeah. Is it more manageable? Yes. Because your seat height is lower. Like for example, when I rode the R1, the Ducati Panigale especially, it's high. You are really tiptoeing. You know it's a powerful bike, and you are kind of like, you know, like tiptoeing on that bike. It's a bit higher, the posture is a bit more cramped. So you want to ride it every day, not really a good idea. But this, although the posturing is aggressive, when you are going to be stopping a lot at traffic lights, it's actually not too bad. Right. A huge difference. I'm so glad Triumph has been going on this bar end mirror kind of approach to a lot of their bikes, because the traditional mirrors, your head, your shoulders end up blocking up half the stuff you see. Ooh, the back brakes really do bite. If you have a bit more money, you want to hit the tracks, you want to go out and tour a bit, you can do this on this bike with the options they have. And you want to have a bit of a fun on and off, you know, go a bit across the country into Malaysia and all that. I think it's a pretty decent bike. It is a very strong competitor with the naked bikes out there. The Japanese bikes may have cost on their side, but if you compare with the MT10, it's not that far apart, the pricing. Compare this with the other Continental bikes, it's cheaper. So yeah, maybe in numbers it might be different, you know, the horsepower and stuff like that, but pricing is one of the key factors, and I've been very impressed with Triumph. They have always been giving very good deals, and especially Singapore Triumph. 4 years warranty, 4 years free servicing, 1 valve clearance, everything included. You don't even need to pay for labor, you know, except for, you know, you add in extra stuff. Like my bike's now in the servicing center. I am making some changes. I only need to pay for that. So for 4 years you don't have to worry about this bike. Hey guys, I'm sorry the audio clipped out from this point onwards. So basically, if you compare both bikes between the RS and the double R, I would recommend using the RS because it's more user friendly for cities, but the double R is a bit too hot and uncomfortable for long rides. So I hope you like this video. Give me a thumbs up and stay tuned to further videos.